Madayaw and shalom, everyone. Let's talk some more about David. Because David, we can spend two, three, four, five more videos about him because we're not going to be done. And all throughout the Bible, he doesn't get just one book, there's so much material about him. I don't know why this thing is hazy, but it is. Anyways, let's get back to David. My appearance and cloudiness does not matter. Our reflection does. So, David is, as I said, very complex. He has his ups and downs, his lows and highs. All right. So, as a warrior, David does become a mighty man. And along the way, he picks up, I wouldn't say random people. Some would say the discard or the rejected of society. And somehow, either he trains them or because of the battles they were together, they became strong. They were his mighty men. And not all of them are Israelites. Some of them were foreign or grafted in. Anyways, he even gets his nephew to be one of his mighty men. Okay, so they battle. So Goliath's dead, but take note, Goliath had other brothers. There were five giants in there, if you read it carefully. So, anyways, you will they will describe these guys as all of them coming from Gath. They are the last of the Rephaim. Rephaim is a type of giant, and the reason why this one I got this from, where did I get this? I'm not sure if it's from Pastor Alan Nolan or Rick Renner. Anyway, so oh no, Gary Wayne. Sorry, I got this from Gary Wayne. The reason why they're called Rephaim, meaning Rapha, is because they heal after a battle. The reason why David had to is because Goliath will heal if you don't lob it off. So, yeah. And when David gets a little older, I suppose his reflexes aren't as fast. So he is not the one who personally felled the other four. Okay, so the one of them got felled by his nephew, the others his other mighty men. But they still attributed everything to David because he is the king and he actually is in battle. Well, David, I guess he enjoys the battle a little too much. Anyways, when he was proclaimed king, he did join the battle too. In fact, he still battled even his son, Absalom. Complicated guy too. But anyways, as I said, David has his faults. His favorite son is Absalom. I don't know about the others, but he did have a lot of kids. Anyways, towards the end of his life, when he wanted to build a proper dwelling, a proper temple for God, God said, "No, your hands are soaked in blood." I don't know if that means because of Uriah, because you guys knew what he did to Uriah. Or is it because he is a man of war? Because that is always mentioned there, that David is a man of war. Maybe he enjoyed the battle a little too much. And so God said, "Your son Solomon will be a man of peace." And so Solomon is declared the next heir. That didn't sit well with Absalom. And that also didn't sit well with, I forgot his other name, the other son. Because they were all older, and Solomon is actually the youngest son, or implied to be the youngest son. He is the son of Bathsheba. And you know how David didn't acquire her in the nicest way. Anyway, so David, he tried his best for Solomon when he was accepting that, okay, I'm not allowed to build the temple. God doesn't want me to build the temple. But he said, "Solomon, my son, will build the temple." And so what he does is he prepared everything for Solomon. He already commissioned the cut stones. He already commissioned the gold platers, the silver platers, the bronze casters. He already started to commission those way ahead of time. He already negotiated the price of cedars from Lebanon and the other woods that what's this, Solomon was to build. Okay, so he did all of those way in advance. In fact, remember in the previous video I said that the Levites will come into play here? Yeah. So David calls on all the Levites and say, we're going to start practicing properly in a temple. Now we need, I suppose, rotations and people who have their tasks. So he called on the families of the Levites. So everyone will have a task, everyone will have their rotation. There will always be somebody in the east gate, there will always be somebody in each of the gates, somebody who's, what's this? A family will take care of the treasury because it has its own treasury. Who's going to do the sacrifices? Who's going to do this? Who's going to support the high priest? All of those. He started to do all of those. So, well, you can't say David was just all about war. He was also about strategy and planning. So he did all those. And remember, David is a musician. He loved to sing and he loved to compose because most of the Psalms is his work. He also commissioned and made all the instruments that would be used in the temple. In fact, he already had the choir practicing their songs. That was how much preparation they made long before they made the temple. So I don't know if you caught that on, because the Bible will write this not in a linear fashion. So you'll get details of this in Chronicles, but you wouldn't get it in Samuel, and you'd only get a hint of it in Kings. So when you read those books, Samuel 1, Samuel 2, Kings 1 and 2, Chronicles 1 and 2, it's not very linear. It goes like, things like that. So you're going to have to prepare yourself and have like a paper beside you because it's not that linear. One thing I like also about David is how he treated Mephibosheth. So Mephibosheth was the son of Jonathan. So remember, David and Jonathan became really best friends. They even called each other soulmates. Our souls are intertwined. We love each other. And then it's just when Saul tried to kill David, Jonathan had David escape. Anyway, so Jonathan died in battle. So did Saul. So did all the rest of the sons of Saul. So only Michal was not dead, and she went back to David because she is the first wife. You know, the dowry that Saul asked David for her was 1,000 Philistine foreskins, and David gave him 200. Sorry, 100 Philistine foreskins, and he gave 200. So, yeah. Anyway, so one day, we don't know when this day was. Was he older already? But it is already said here that he already had sons by this point. He went around and saying, hey, whatever happened to any of the family of Saul? Are any of them alive? And then they called Ziba, the servant of Saul. So maybe he's like the steward of Saul's properties, because all of those were given to David because, well, Saul tried to kill David. Maybe they felt like compensation. And then Ziba's like, no, there's still one child left. He's the son of Jonathan. He's in Lodibar with these guys. He lives with these guys. Why does he live with those guys? Because, you know, when we thought that you were going to kill everyone here. So in like the struggle, there was an accident and he became lame. Oh, okay. So they sent for Mephibosheth, and he was lame, but he was okay. He was not, because it's implied that Lodibar is also leper colony, but he's not a leper. He was just hiding there. And David's like, Ziba, I need you and your 15 sons and 20 servants. I need you to like manage his land, all of Saul's land. Give it to Mephibosheth. Mephibosheth, take your pick. You can live in your land or you can live with me here in Jerusalem. My table will always be open to you. You will eat like one of my sons. Which he chose. And when Ziba betrayed him, he didn't quite take it against Ziba. David's like, okay, so nobody would be arguing each other and backstabbing each other. I'm going to cut your property in two. Half will go to Ziba, half will go to Mephibosheth. And Mephibosheth, he can take it all. As long as I eat in your table, I'm fine. So I don't know if that happened because they didn't confirm or whatever. But it was said that Mephibosheth had a son and he lived with David the rest of his life. Isn't that nice?